Good evening, ladies as well as gentlemen. Papa Boris here with some more Hearthstone Arena action. Now, in our last video, I ate some Trader Joe's teriyaki mushroom quinoa rolls, which really called out to me in the store and looked good, but something was off about that teriyaki flavor. I don't think I'm going to get food poisoning or anything, but I do need to cleanse my palate, so I've got a kind of array of things here to help with that. First, I've got some chocolate-covered marzipan, which my parents sent me for my birthday. It's delicious. And it's tempting as it is to keep the Yeti, we're not going to do that. Not without an Innervate. And since I did not get an Innervate, I'm pretty happy that I mulliganed those guys away. That helps already. So delicious. Mercules. I wonder if this guy's like a fan of playing Murlocs or something. Okay, hope he passes on turn 1. If he does, we'll be off to a rockin' start. Rip-rolling start here. Whole kit and caboodle. Oh god, I love chocolate-covered marzipan. Anyway, this is one of the best plays you can do against a paladin. Turn 1, coin Amani Berserker. Oftentimes the paladin, if he doesn't have a turn 2 play, won't even make a recruit because it's just pointless. The Berserker will just enrage against it. Now here we can get super greedy. I can go Power of the Wild and make this a 3-4. Kill the Knife Juggler and have it be a 6-1. But that's a bit greedy. I don't think I need to do that. Let's just keep it simple, keep it safe. We'll play Fairy Dragon and trade the Berserker for the Knife Juggler. Killing a Knife Juggler is its own victory. Okay, he's got nothing but a recruit, which is great news for me. Now, I could either play Power of the Wild or Crazed Alchemist. Both of these could be useful later. I think the Crazed Alchemist is less likely to be useful. So I'll flip the Fairy Dragon. And then kill off his recruit like so. I think it is important to play the Crazed Alchemist first, because if you do it, or play it before you attack, because if you do it after you attack, the dragon ends up being a 1-3, which I'm not as jazzed by. No Mission Mentor, quite unfortunate. It will trade with both my guys, so we'll play Sen'jin, hoping he doesn't have any Hammer of Wraths or Blessing of Kings, especially no Blessing of Kings on his turn. Okay, now that we've had some chocolate-covered marzipan, let's just eat a good old Nutri-Grain bar here. These are raspberry flavored. I typically go for the strawberry ones, but I didn't see any at the store last time I was there. So I'm going to have to content myself with a raspberry flavor. It's the last one in the box, which is good. So the next time I go to the store, I can get some strawberry ones, and the natural order of things will be restored. While he's hesitating, hopefully that means no Blessing of Kings. You might be thinking, but Papa Boris, if he has Blessing of Kings, why can't you just silence it? Well, I could, but if I did, it would still be a 2-4, which I still can't really deal with effectively with my creatures. That's what makes No Mission Mentor so good. It draws a card, and the body actually is often pretty impressive. Unlike Novice Engineer, who just dies to everything. Okay, so he comes up with the Hammer of Wrath. Does he have a Divine Shield here? Yep. So he spends a bunch of resources, kills off the Sen'jin. Fine. We will do this. Throw away. Which one of these guys? I guess the Crazed Alchemist. Looking for 2. So right now, I've got the Iron Bark. Unfortunately, what I would have rather seen is a Boulder Fist Ogre that I could play next turn. If he drops a big 6-drop here with this board, I'm going to be in some serious trouble. Power of the Wild will not take me far enough. I have 2 Innervates in here that I'm hoping I get one of so I can play Iron Bark next turn. That would be great as well. There goes the Nutri-Grain bar. And he does not have a good play, it seems. He just has a wolf. Which will Dynamite Keeper of the Grove. Not a problem. Alright, that terrible teriyaki flavor is a distant memory now, but let's completely seal the tomb. Stop any possibility of grave robbers. Protect our trinkets, make sure that we can get into the afterlife. And open up a bag of sun-kissed fruit snacks. Gotta get that vitamin C. Vitamin C is important, kids. You know what else is important? Taking an eternity to make your play. That is very, very, very important. Okay, he buffs it up. Which, whatever. Not a problem. So we got a couple of different options here. I could do Keeper of the Grove, deal 2 damage, shapeshift, kill it, use my other Keeper of the Grove to kill the Shattered Sun Cleric. Disadvantage, Consecration would kill 2 of my 3 minions, that's fine. Option number 2, I could play the 8 Ogre Magi, Power of the Wild. This becomes a 3-3, a 3-5, and then of course a 5-5. I could then say kill the wolf like that, and then trade this for the cleric, or trade this for the wolf and kill the cleric with this. Either way, this guy's taking 3 damage. And then I have a 3-2 and a 5-5. And I get to preserve the Keeper of the Grove. I'm gonna go for this plan because I first of all want to use the power of the wild while it's good, and then second, I want to have the spell damage here in case I get a swipe later on or a Starfire. Could be useful. And 5-5 is more impressive than a 2-4. So I feel like that extra board presence is worth it. So turn 7 is the awkward turn where I've got nothing good to do. But if I can make it so that I'm still in approximately this good shape on turn 8 and drop the Ironbark, then I'm in great shape. Mercules the Paladin. So I can do the Raider and the Keeper next turn, or the Keeper and Shapeshift. Probably not Raider Shapeshift, I doubt that would happen. Or I can get a Starfire maybe, and play that. Or if I got Innervate, I would waste a Crystal of the Innervate to play the Ironbark, if the board state was good. Well, he's thinking a lot, so he seems not to have any obviously good plan, which is good. If he played a Boulderfist Ogre, I could shoot it to death with my Ogre Magi and my Keeper of the Grove at the very least. So I'm pretty set against most obvious things he could do. Argent Commander, interesting. Will it just kill the Keeper of the Grove, or does he have a 1 point of damage to kill the Ogre Magus? Nope. Okay. Not an impressive turn, which is perhaps why he took so long to make it. Okay, so my board presence is even better than it was on the last turn, and all I could do is play an Argent Commander, which is great. So now there's a decent chance I'll be able to play an Ironbark Protector unimpeded, and maybe Cenarius after that. We'll see. Mercules is wandering for a long time, but he doesn't have anything to show for it. Did I forget to attack with my Ogre Magi? Oh, no, I did. Okay, I attacked him. Good. That would have been silly. I had a moment of panic for a second there. Oh my god, Mercules. What are you doing? Filing your taxes? Repainting your garage? Burying a dog bone? Come on, we got some Hearthstone to play, bitch! Make your move! We see his mouse hovering over things? Okay, yeah, well that was justified. Yep, Yeah, I'm glad you thought about that for half a fucking hour, because yes, that Goldshire Footman was definitely worth thinking about for an eternity. Okie dokie. So he put out a bunch of absolute garbage. There was no reason to think for as long as he did. Anyway, let's play the Ironbark. Bust through that. Bust through that. No point really hitting off this Divine Shield at all. It doesn't achieve anything, so I'm just going to hit him in the face. And yeah, he can actually throw these things and the Divine Shield, and my Iron Bar can kill it, but then all my other stuff lives for Cenarius to go wild with. So unless there's some like really great stuff that he's holding on to, that he's just been slow rolling, I'm going to be in good shape. Oh my god, that's a big game hunter. Well, now he can do substantially better. He's got 6 mana left over still. He can at least kill like 2 of my creatures, if not more. Alright, he can now kill all 3 of my creatures. Oh my god, if I actually lose to this asshole, who spends like 8 hours on every single fucking turn, I'm going to be very disappointed. But he is mostly out of cards. Okay, never mind. He just got an Arcane Intellect. Oh my god, I'm going to lose this game. Oh my god, I'm going to lose this game. Hilarious. Hilarious. Well, that was a mistake. He should have just killed it with Light's Justice. He's at risk, so he might as well take... Well, I don't know. I guess he figured it was more risky to take 2 damage than it was to lose a creature. Hard to say. Okay, well, Cenarius is good. A 5/8 is pretty beastly. It's, I mean, the same total stats as a Boulder Fist Ogre, so it's a pretty big threat. And the 2/2 trees it gives will trade off with 2 of his creatures as well. So that should be okay. Boulder Fist Ogre, not quite good enough. Make sure you always click on the right thing. Otherwise, you could really get screwed up. So alright, Cenarius, get me back in this game. Please. Now my opponent's probably thinking, oh, it's so unlucky. He had Cenarius, but then again, you know, he had Big Game Hunter for an Ironbark Protector. So usually you shouldn't complain too much. He's going to replay his weapon, he's going to humiliate Cenarius. Alright, well at least this is whole. That's everything he could do. So preserve his wolf and kill that. Start hitting me in the face. Okay. Before we do anything... Actually, I'm not going to Wild Growth this turn. It's more important for me to put out creatures. So we will go ahead and Dark Iron Dwarf. I'll kill the Big Game Hunter. Play a Boulder Fist Ogre. And pass the turn. We'll wait for the Wild Growth next turn. There's a chance I'll get Gadgetzan Auctioneer, then I'll get 3 cards out of this and probably win the game. Once again, I have a bigger board than he does, so he needs to have a really big card up here or some really great card advantage to catch back up. Wolf Rider's not really going to do it. Is he going to try to burn me out? Nope. Okay. So you can kill this with Gnomish Hunter plus True Silver Champion, and I actually top deck the Gadgetzan Auctioneer, which is a little bit lucky. So there's 3 cards, 1 for casting the Wild Growth, 1 for casting the excess mana, and excess mana itself, of course, gives you a card, so that's really strong. And that puts my opponent in a serious pickle here. Okay. Let's just keep it simple, keep it safe. Shapeshift. Actually, can I have 1, 6, plus 4 is 12, or 10. Sorry, good math there, Boris. Let's do that, and let's just hit him in the face. So now Starfire plus Savage Roar is a minimum of 7 damage, so if any of my minions are alive, I will actually win the game. Or if he uses True Silver Champion against the Auctioneer, I'll also win the game. And he has to still deal with this Boulder Fist Ogre, which is a problem. For him, that is, not for me. Oh my god, I cannot believe he thought for half of an hour on 2-drop, 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 2-drop. I mean, really, that was kind of silly. So he's not going to kill me. He doesn't have enough damage. He could have dealt 12 damage to me. And he's going to trade his minions for the Ogre. By the logic that if it hits you anyway, you might as well kill it. It kills the Gadgetzan Auctioneer, which is fine for him. He made the right play there. It's just that I have Starfire, Innervate, and Savage Roar. So, a couple of people have commented on the fact that I seem to every now and then play extra cards at the end of the game, even when they're not needed to win. The answer is that I have been told playing more cards gives you more experience for a match, which means that you know, unlock the golden cards sooner and level up sooner. So once it gets to level 60 with a particular class, I'll stop doing that, because I do think it's bad-mannered. But as long as the game encourages you to be bad-mannered, I'm going to do it at least a little bit. Not fully, not like play as much as I can, but at least partially. Because, you know, over like thousands of games, those little trickly bits of experience can add up. Alright, we're up against CJ White the Mage. As tempting as it is to keep the Auctioneer, I'm not going to. Do I keep the Yeti? Well, if I coin into the Berserker on turn 1, and play the Growth on turn 2, I do have the Yeti as a turn 3 play, so I am going to keep the Yeti, because that's a very strong play for turn 3. And my opponent can't stop me from doing that. The only thing that can actually stop me is my hand. So if, for example, I'm like, shoot, I really would rather just play 2 drops than this Wild Growth that I have, then maybe I would not play the Yeti on turn 3. So we'll see what happens. If she just like pings my face right now, then I would totally just Wild Growth and play the Yeti on turn 3. Now here we have a clear board, so I can either play the Panther to keep up the pressure, or Wild Growth, and then gamble on future pressure being more valuable. Alright, we're going to take a gamble here. There is a bunch of expensive stuff in the deck, so being able to get my Ogre, my Ironbark, my Cenarius, my Starfires earlier could matter. And she indeed has a very slow start, so she plays Arcane Intellect. Now, because I went down a card for playing Wild Growth, and because she went up a card for playing the Arcane Intellect, she's now a few cards ahead of me here. She's got 7 to my total of 5, soon to be 6 after I draw. Which is significant because I'm the second player, so as the second player, being that far behind, you know, is like, so that after drawing a card, I'm still a card down, is like a pretty big swing. Turn 5 is awkward because I cannot play this and Shapeshift. Water Elemental. Well, we are going to kill this. The question is how. I think I'm going to use the Claw. The reason I'm using the Claw here is that it allows me to also play a Loot Hoarder and Power of the Wild for a Panther. I think that's more valuable than buffing up my stuff. So, I've got a nice board presence here. And then I believe the Yeti will actually be frozen on my next turn as well, because the Water Elemental got a completely unnecessary buff ages ago. It used to be if you hit something with the Water Elemental yourself, you'd unfreeze at the end of your turn. As it is, the Yeti is going to be stuck there, but I can now at least play Keeper of the Grove and Shapeshift next turn, which is 3 damage, which could be good. I've got the Loot Hoarder for more damage if she plays a big 5-drop. If she pings the Loot Hoarder, she'll only playing a 3-drop, so 3 damage should be enough to get the kill. And then turn 7 is really the only awkward turn where I'm still waiting on the Ironbark. Now, if she has a Polymorph for the Ironbark, that's very, very sad. That's one of the many drawbacks, I think, of playing with really expensive cards. Cone of Gold is actually really annoying. That will clear out my board. And I could, of course, silence a Yeti to attack with it, but all it's really doing is dealing 4 damage. It's not actually really worth it. So we'll just play the biggest thing we have, Shapeshift, and pass the turn. Now, I could have played the Ghoul, of course, knowing that she'd ping off my Yeti and the Ghoul would grow, but the thing is, the Ghoul is cheaper. And even growing once, it's still a 3-3 versus this being a 4-4, so I wanted to play this out because it's more mana. Next turn, for example, I can play the Keeper and the Ghoul. Whereas if I'd kept the Keeper and the Ogre Magi, with 7 mana, I would have had an awkward situation of things to play. So she's got 7 cards to my, well, 5 after my Yeti dies. She kind of went down a card temporarily playing Cone of Cold because it didn't kill anything, but she'll catch up with the Yeti after she pings it, if she pings it. She plays Blizzard. Interesting choice. So she used Cone of Cold and Blizzard to kill off 2 creatures. It's 2 for 2. Not really that impressive, I would say. I could silence this to attack with it, but again, that's just dealing 4 damage. Pretty meager use of a silence. So it's a good thing we drew this Fairy Dragon. Let's put it in the middle to guard against future Cones of Cold. I'm no longer frozen, so I can attack. And okay, she has still 7 cards to my 5. She cannot automatically kill anything. She could play a Flame Strike here to clear the board and just go for, like, attrition via mass removal. And I guess if she does that, then kudos to her. That's a hard thing to pull off in the arena. You have to get lucky with your draft and with your draws. But I'm not going to play around that. I'm just going to keep playing out my minions. And I mean, if she has a Polymorph for this, she has a Polymorph for it, but it's coming down. It's coming down the pike hole. Well, kind of regret not having a Nourish at this point. But it is possible I'll still get a lot of cards, because there's another... Well, no, I've already used Wild Growth. I think I just have the 1. So yeah, we'd have to get lucky with like Gadgets and Auctioneer, Innervate stuff to get lots and lots of cards if I am to catch up with this card advantage situation. My computer fan is really loud, so I apologize if you can hear it on the microphone. Here is a Fen Creeper. Okay, not a problem. I can use the Ogre Magi and the Keeper of the Grove to kill it. The question is, does she have anything to do for 2 mana, or is she just fire blasting me? I could also play the Ironbark Protector. Problem is, if she polymorphs this, the Fen Creeper then goes to town on my Flesh Eating Ghoul, which is sad. She's a Frostbolt for the Magus, which is pretty smart, because that makes it much harder to kill the Fen Creeper. Jesus, that actually sucks a lot. Well, since that just happened, we are going to play the Ironbark Protector. I should have put it on the left so that the Fairy Dragon stayed in the middle. And we're going to pass the turn. Her having that Frostbolt really sucked. In fact, she's had 2 Frostbolts here. One for the Berserker I played on turn 1, and one for that Ogre Magi right there, and both were just pretty devastating. Frostbolt's a very, very good card. It's often a card you're afraid of when you play against a mage. Everybody thinks of, you know, Flame Strike and Blizzard and Polymorph and Fireball as the most to fear mage cards, but Frostbolt in its own way, I mean, it's the only reliable, cheap removal spell the mage has. So when you have something that's valuable but low health, Frostbolt's the most important thing to watch out for. And that you hope the opponent doesn't have. Like, if that Berserker had been Fireballed, whatever, I don't care. But it got Frostbolted, and that sucks. How dead is Innervate? Well, it's basically waiting for the Auctioneer. Otherwise, I doubt it's going to get used. Okay, she did not have a Polymorph for this Ironbark. What does she have? Argent Commander. Well, those are well played. So she killed it, but not in a particularly elegant way, which is good. Alright. Cult Master. Does this get played here to trade the Fairy Dragon in there for a card? I think so. I think I need to get as many cards as I can here, because that's the only way that I could really lose. Is just by, like, not having enough cards. Keeper of the Grove to shoot the face. Nope. I'm going to hang on to that Keeper of the Grove in case she does come up with a Flame Strike. I don't want her to have the free kill on that Keeper. She's already used 2 Frostbolts. She demonstrated last turn that she did not have a Polymorph, so it's going to be a little bit tricky for her to kill this Ghoul. She's already used a Blizzard, 2 Frostbolts, and a Cone of Cold. I mean, what else can she come up with? Flame Strike. Well, it's a good thing I didn't play the Keeper then. Still sad about that Flame Strike, though, because after that, she's still ahead of me on cards. And this Innervate is dead, as is pretty much the Savage Roar. Alright, Sea Giant. Is that worth playing? I'm going to kill this Ooze, and I'm going to Oh, I can't Innervate the Sea Giant because it's 9 mana now. That was a mistake. I thought I could Innervate the Sea Giant afterwards, but that is not to be. If I'd done it in the opposite order, it was still the same. It would have cost 9 mana, and then I wouldn't have been able to Innervate the Keeper. Well, I probably should have played the Sea Giant, then I thought I could get the Sea Giant out with the Innervate's help. Having, you know, an 8-8 and her having a 3-2 is probably better than me having a 2-4 and her having an empty board. Well, mainly the main card I'm waiting for here is that Gadgets and Auctioneer. That could catch me right back up. I could play it, Innervate, and Savage Roar, kill something with the Roar, get 2 cards. I mean, life's good if I can get that guy. She gets a 4-4 and a card, which is absolutely devastating. It's like the one thing I did not want to see happen. That is really, really bad for me. I have to throw away the Keeper and the Savage Roar, basically, to do it. Water Elemental. Oh, my God. Okay. Well, that's life, I guess. So we're going to play the Boulder Fist Ogre. Innervate for the Sea Giant. And hit her in the face. Not ideal at all. I mean, it might look impressive with this big board, but mages could have all the answers to everything, especially when they have spell damage out here. So though it looks like my creatures dominate hers, it's a bad situation. Now, if it were my turn, well, if it were my turn, I would win the game. So a turn in Hearthstone makes all the difference. If it were my turn right now, I would just win. The fact that she has the turn right now makes all the difference because it means that she could actually kill me pretty easily. She pretty much just needs like one right card, like Polymorph, or Blizzard, Flame Strike, one right card is all it takes, and she's basically got this done and sealed up with her 7 cards to 4 situation. But if by a miracle the Sea Giant and the Ogre are both alive and allowed to attack, Savage Roar will win me the game. This is 8 plus 6 is 14, and this is 6 damage. Acolyte of Pain is not a big deal at all. She's going to ping it to draw cards. She spends half her mana drawing 1 card. That's pretty good. That tells me she's desperate. Also tells me there's no Blizzard or Flame Strike here. She will kill off that cheap guy. Question is, where does she send that Water Elemental? Secret. Oh my. If that is Vaporize, I will lose a really big creature, which is unfortunate. Do I dare risk it being Vaporized, or is she just mind gaming me? Argent Squire. Well, let's see if it's a Mirror Entity. That'll at least root out one mind game. It's not a Mirror Entity. 8 plus 6 is 14. 14 plus 4 is 18. As long as it's not Ice Armor, Vaporize, Counterspell, or... yeah, really, there's just so many things. Okay, so what we're going to do here then is kill off her stuff. I will freeze the Ogre to kill off the Elemental. I will kill off the Azure Drake there. Shapeshift. Can't attack with it, sadly. No point in Savage Roaring. We'll pass the turn. So that Secret really pretty much saved her. It's not the best thing that could have saved her, but it saved her just the same. The only Secret that would have, like, not let me win was Mirror Entity, which I know it wasn't, or Spellbender. And I wasn't gonna cast a Savage Roar hoping that would be a Spellbender. That would be very silly. Now, at this point, if the Ogre well, this Ogre's gonna be frozen because of fucking overpowered Water Elemental. So I'm not gonna be able to kill her next turn, because even with Savage Roar, the Argent Squire has to check for the Secret. And then if it is, you know, anything, Vaporize or Ice Armor, then the Sea Giant plus my own face would be 8 plus 1 with Shapeshift is 9, plus 4 is 13 damage, 13 wouldn't kill her. Okay, so she's going to ping off the Sea Giant, which is totally fair. That leaves her with 5 cards and a Secret. Oh, Mad Bomber, please don't hit the Sea Giant. It hit the Sea Giant. God damn it. Ah, it had to hit the Sea Giant. Well, that sucks. At least one barrel went on her face, but she's got card advantage against me here. I really still want that Gadgetzan Auctioneer to at least get a card off of the Savage Roar. That would be huge, because if I got Gadgetzan Auctioneer and Savage Roar kills the Mad Bomber and draws me a card, and I put a 4/4 on the ground. It's really, really strong. That's the card I most want to see here. And there's a Boulder Fist Ogre, which I can't kill it because my Ogre is frozen because Water Elemental is a goddamn overpowered card. Okay, so on this turn, what are we going to do? Well, first of all, let's check for Counterspell. Alright. We'll kill the Mad Bomber. Check for Ice Armor / Vaporize. It is one of them. It is a Vaporize. So it's a good thing I didn't lose Sea Giant or Boulder Fist Ogre to this, I suppose. Gonna beef up the Ogre so that if her Ogre hits mine, her Ogre will die. And then we're gonna pass the turn. Well, I'm out of cards and she has 4 cards, so I'm gonna lose. Kind of a baloney game here. Her having just enough to hang on all the time. Even though I played lots of big cards, I just ran out of cards in the end. Now, Cenarius could still bring me back in it. Auctioneer, if I drew the Auctioneer, I'd be so mad because it would have arrived like just 1 turn too late. She has another Gnomish Inventor, so she gets even further ahead on cards. That will kill my Shattered Sun Cleric, unfortunately. Yeah, that's a 3rd Frostbolt, actually, so she now gets to keep the Boulder Fist Ogre, which is real bad trouble on the horizon. Her overpowered hero ability, letting her kill my big giant creatures without taking retaliatory damage has been a problem, to be sure. Yeah, I might be at the point where I'm going to draw a card and concede. She plays another Water Elemental. Are you goddamn kidding me, Jesus? Alright. So she let me keep this Ogre, which I believe unfreezes now, right? What? Why is it still... oh, because it got Frostbolted. Righto. Okay. Well, there's a chance I'll get Gadgetzan Auctioneer, play Innervate, get another spell, play that, get another spell, play that, or something like that, and then, like, catch up and win. That's a possibility. So, you know, gotta give myself that chance to get lucky. If I get Auctioneer, Innervate, and Starfire, that would be like 2 cards. I could kill that thing. Oh my god, Windfury Harpy. So she managed to have lots of removal. 3 Frostbolts, you know, Flame Strike, going to Cold to Blizzard. And I actually do get the Auctioneer a little bit too little, a little bit too late. Well, let's see what happens. Gotta check it out. And I actually got Swipe, which does not quite kill the Harpy. I could Shapeshift if I weren't fucking frozen, because she also, oh yeah, had like 3 goddamn water elementals. Well, let's kill the Ogre. Bloodsail Raider, unfortunately, not what the doctor ordered. So she's got 8, 11. Yeah, whatever. At this point, I might as well just finish this out. See what she wants to do with herself. Oh, that game was stupid. She had so much removal. And the freaking water elementals. What are you going to do? Druids are terrible at dealing with water elemental because it's got 6 health and nothing that you have as a druid deals with it. So water elemental is broken to begin with, but just for a druid it's especially bad to deal with. Lame. So this game took like half a goddamned hour too because my opponent is super slow. Very annoying game here. I'm losing my streak. I'm okay, I'll be at 3-1, which is, still could lead to a pretty good outcome, but the fact that she's playing super slowly and continues to have obnoxious stuff at every step is the problem. Oh my god, CJ White. More like CJ wait forever for you to make your goddamn move, am I right? Okay, so she, after much thinking, hits me with the Windfury Harpy. Congratulations. You can play Hearthstone. Do you want to do something here? Do you want to do something here? Okay. She kills the Auctioneer. In case I top deck any more spells. She plays the Commander. Wait, she could have dealt, hang on, 8, 11, 13, 17 damage, total. So if she had hit me with the Harpy, I would have been at 5 health. Okay, she didn't miss the win or anything. She did fine. There's Cenarius. I'll play him. I don't think it's going to be enough, though. Don't think it's going to be enough. She can get rid of 1 tree, 2 trees. She has 7, 8 damage. She just needs one more point of damage and the game is over. Granted, with 2 cards, there's a real possibility she does not have an extra point of damage to spare. Well, that'll do, pig. That'll do. Let's see. Okay, let's see if she sees the win. Maybe she doesn't see it. Maybe she's going to throw stuff at Cenarius because she got bamboozled. No. She's good enough for that. I'm not going to give her well played. That was retarded. So that's the game. And we're off to the next one. CJ Snow White fell asleep every goddamn turn. Those are the worst. The games will take like 45 minutes to play. And your opponent is Sleeping Beauty over there. So, wait, Snow White and Sleeping Beauty, did they both fall asleep? I think so, right? Because Snow White ate the poisoned apple and she fell asleep. Seems like Sleeping Beauty then is kind of a redundant story. I mean, Snow White is also a beauty who was asleep. And had a Prince Saber. Anyway, off of that tangent, we're moving on to the next game. Hopefully this game will at the very least be faster, win or lose. I just don't want to take forever like against that stupid slow-ass mage. Slayer the Mage. Well, not too long ago we played against Pussy Slayer the Shaman. Hopefully Slayer the Mage is a bit more class. I am going to keep Innervate. Now there's a risk to keeping this Innervate, which is that instead of drawing my Druid of the Claw or my Yeti or my Senjin, I will draw my other Innervate. That would be very bad. But I think it's worth the risk because, I mean, if I got so many big things, almost certainly I'm going to get something I can play at some point. Almost certainly. So the Infiltrator is actually a real nuisance. It makes me not want to play this Panther because it'll just get killed by the Infiltrator. So let's play Loot Hoarder here. If she wants to ping it, that's fine. That'll be a trade of a turn for a turn. And then she has to decide whether to play the Infiltrator or not, or attack with the Infiltrator or not. If she does attack, I actually would probably just play the Power of the Wild for the Panther and then Claw to kill this thing off. The Loot Hoarder also stops her from playing any 3/2s, because that would be pretty pointless. she might as well just kill the Loot Hoarder with her hero ability than to use a 3/2 to kill it. Alright, she elects to Fire Blast my Loot Hoarder after some thinking, which suggests that she did in fact have another card that she might have wanted to play. In the interest of tempo, I will use Claw to kill this Infiltrator. So I could have actually just, shapeshifted to kill it, but then I wouldn't have been able to play the Panther without using Innervate. With these guys in my hand, I definitely don't want to use up Innervate earlier than I have to. So getting this creature down seemed valuable. Next turn, I can use this plus Shapeshift to kill even the best of 3-drops. Oh god, does she have Frostbolt? Does she have a Frostbolt? She has a freaking Frostbolt! Are you goddamn kidding me? Jesus! Oh my god, I just can't go a day. Can't go a second without a Frostbolt. So Crazy Alchemist here is just terrible. It would swap this to be a 2/3, which I don't really need. I could have, I guess, hit it with my Shapeshift and then made it a 1/3, but that still seemed pretty dumb. Oh my god, the Frostbolts are just murdering me. This is the 4th Frostbolt that has hit me. And it's bad. Next turn is very awkward. I've got nothing to do. I can swipe, but then I cannot shapeshift. I'm a mana away from being able to innervate into an Ironbark. Oh my god, I need to get something to play. Alright, that'll do, Pig. That'll do. So, not the greatest move here. She can just kill this off with her Yeti, but I'm going to innervate into the Ironbark next turn, and if she has a Polymorph, then she can just suck my butt hairs. And if she doesn't have it, then the Ironbark will let me catch back up. It'll kill the Yeti and maybe something else as well. I don't remember if I mentioned this, but I did lose to Pussy Slayer the Shaman, so I kind of want to beat his cousin, regular Slayer the Mage. At the moment, she has a pretty big advantage, though. Now, what I could do, perhaps, if she drops a lot of stuff on the ground, is actually swipe. Some cases that will actually let me clear her board, we'll see. She's thinking of what to do. Loot Hoarder. Okay, that'll die to swipe. And a secret. Oh no! I can't play the Ironbark anymore because it will just get mirror entity'd. Alright. Well, not much to do, I guess. Let's play the Berserker. See if it's a mirror entity. It isn't. Swipe. We're gonna swipe. Aha. It's a counter spell. Well played, sir. Well played. So now, next turn I can do Innervate for Cenarius, which isn't even that great. But, who knows? It could be better than nothing. Stormwind Knight's not too bad. They'll kill my Berserker with the help of the Fire Blast, I suppose. And then she'll have a pair of 3 toughness creatures to kill the Treants with, which is annoying. She pings it first, so she's going to actually use the Loot Hoarder to kill it. Nope, she's... Whoa! That was a big mistake. Yeah, she says whoops. Her Stormwind Knight should still be on the board right now. She actually just Stone Cold threw it away for absolutely no reason, which could make all the difference, because that's now a minion that doesn't get a free kill on one of my trees. She has to throw the Loot Hoarder at it and the Yeti. Or the Yeti and whatever else she has, but she could have gotten a free kill on my tree, so that's a really big difference. What are you thinking about? There's nothing to do. Stop. Pass the turn. What is up with you goddamn slowpokes? Are you kidding me? Jesus! Anyway, we can now do Druid of the Claw and hang on to the Innervate, but what is the Innervate really going to do? If I play the Druid of the Claw, what does that really achieve? Well, it lets me shapeshift to kill the Loot Hoarder. Alright, sold. So that, and that. So now, there's bait here for a Polymorph, or for a Fireball, which means the Ironbark, I can just play it regularly. Well, this Innerbait that I kept in my opening hand, it didn't pan out. Druid of the Claw arrived too late, and the circumstances were not right for innervating my Shazatsicles. She has 7 cards on the screen to my 5. One of my cards is a mana card, so it's a little bit awkward here. Unless, of course, you get the Auctioneer, this Innervate's going to be pretty dead. Alright, she does have the Fireball for the Druid. That's most of her turn. Please don't do anything else. Nope, stop, stop, stop. No! Stop! Oh god, if that's a secret, I'm going to be so mad. Okay, it's a South Sea Captain. I'm not that mad about that. That's fine. Okay. So the Yeti, the Captain, and the Fire Blast will kill my Iron Bark here if indeed she does not have a Polymorph. But even if she doesn't have Polymorph and she kills it, that's still 1 for 2, which I'm pretty content with, and then we can follow up with Cenarius. Okay, it looks like she's going to throw them at it. Yeah. Oh, does she have a Frostbolt here? Nope, she's throwing everything at it. Great. Lovely, dovely, and she plays a Silverhand Knight. That's fine. So, yeah, this is good. Oh, she still has the coin. Oh, so I was counting an extra card for her. I shouldn't have been. Loot Hoarder. Okay, no problem. Okay, let's go ahead and do Cenarius. I could innervate to Shapeshift to get the Loot Hoarder off. Is that worth it? I don't see myself using that innervate for anything anytime soon. I'm not going to gamble on getting an Auctioneer, so we're just going to do it. I am at a pretty low health total here. She's gotten a trickle of damage through the whole time, and I haven't done any damage to her, which is a problem. So, she kills off both of my trees, losing the Squire to do so, probably. And then Cenarius can finish off the Silverhand Knight. I repopulate with a Yeti and a Dark Iron Dwarf, maybe even a Crazed Alchemist, depending on the circumstances. Alright, so there goes the Squire. She didn't have a Polymorph, because if she did, she would have used it on the Iron Bark for certain. So the 5/8, which is approximately the size of a Boulder Fist Ogre, should be good. Basically what she needs here is a big creature of her own to trade with Cenarius if she doesn't have the Polymorph. She's looking at all of her cards to finally play a Sunwalker. Well, I can see why she was hesitant. It's not really a good answer here. So I still wouldn't mind some kind of a spell. And that's exactly what I needed. Wow, that's pretty remarkable. So we're going to do this. Starfire, go up a card. And yep, we'll use Crazed Alchemist here. What this is basically doing by flipping the 2/4 on the Silverhand Knight, it's healing up the Cenarius for 2 damage. I think it's worth it. I think the heal is worth it. Now the issue, of course, is I'm down to 11 health, so she could just like play 2 fireballs in the face and win. Or if she's a Pyroblast, she can attack me with the Harvest Golem and win as well. So there's been a price for all this lollygagging, and I'm out of taunts, so it's kind of a problem. If she keeps dropping stuff onto the ground, I'll have to keep killing everything she plays. In fact, if she kills my Crazed Alchemist, it's kind of annoying because the Golem will survive with 1 health, so I'll have to shapeshift it if I want to kill it off. Because Cenarius can kill off 1 iteration, but Shapeshift will have to kill off the 2nd. So actually, I'm in a little bit of trouble here just because my health is so low, but maybe I should have used Cenarius to damage the Sunwalker's Divine Shield instead of taking 4 damage myself. I don't know. Hard to say. Let's see what she's got here. Clearly no Pyroblast and no double Fireball, which is good. Hopefully no charge creatures, because none of this stuff is taunting. Fen Creeper is a little bit of a problem. I'll have to use the Dark Iron Dwarf. I'll have to use the Dark Iron Dwarf to kill it off. Okay. So Dark Iron Dwarf goes there, kills the Fen Creeper. She has 5 damage here, which is a little bit of a scary thing. Well, Shapeshift, I'm not planning to hit anything with it. I'm just trying to gain life. 12 minus 5 is 7, so a Fireball still kills me. We'll see if she's got it. I mean, she would have used Fireball on the Iron Bark if she had one, so I don't think she has one. I've got a pair of 4-power creatures which deal with her board pretty well. Question is, what are these 2 cards? If they're anything good, it could be a problem. If it weren't for the Crazed Alchemist, Cenarius would be dead. Okay, so she does that, which is fine. She can use the Golem plus Ping to kill the Dark Iron Dwarf, which I'd be pretty okay with because the Yeti can then finish off the Harvest Golem. I could even shapeshift the Harvest Golem. If the Golem hits my Dark Iron Dwarf, I shapeshift to go up to 13. Oh no, she's got murder on the mind. Oh, if only I had a a Defender of Argus to give these guys taunt, that'd be so great. Alas, it's not happening. Okay, she pings that. And what else? Farseer to heal up herself. I would have healed up the Harvest Golem personally, but whatever. Alright, is Cult Master worth it? I think so. So we're going to throw the Dark Iron Dwarf away so that we can get a card out of the deal. Flesh-Eating Ghoul. Is that actually worth playing here? Yeah. So do the Ghoul. Kill that thing. Shapeshift. If it's going to hit you anyway, you might as well kill it. And now, you know, she can use this Ghoul, the Golem to kill the Cult Master, stop me from getting further cards, but that will just grow the Flesh-Eating Ghoul more. Of course, a Fireball or a Pyroblast still kills me, as does a Reckless Rocketeer. Why did you have to sit for 10 minutes to think about playing a goddamn Novice Engineer? Oh my god. The mages today take ages to play. Wow, that was actually a pretty good poem. I just came up with that. The mages today take ages to play. Alright, we got some junk stuff here. Just stuff I drafted, well, like the Fairy Dragon to have a solid early game is not helping me much right now, but the Cleric could be useful, maybe? It's just not useful at the moment. The mages today take ages to play. Oh, God. What are you thinking about? Are you goddamn kidding me? Play your goddamn card. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah, wow. Harvest Golem to kill the Cult Master. Glad you thought about that one, because that was a pretty difficult thing to come up with doing. Oh, my God. So she doesn't have the kill. What's she going to ping? She's pinging my Ghoul. And playing a Defender of Ours. Why did that take so much time? Oh, God. Damn it. Freaking people. So there's no way to protect this Ghoul. Well, temporarily there is. I can't get any damage through, sadly. But, okay, we'll take the temporary protection. We'll do this. Kill the Novice Engineer with that. Play the biggest thing I have. I'm going to judge that getting health is more valuable than playing that Fairy Dragon. Hit her in the face. It's not the first time I've dealt damage. She healed up 1 damage I dealt her previously with the Earthen Ring Farseer. Now, she can take 5 goddamned hours to think about Fire Blasting the Ghoul, using the Defender of Argus to kill the Shattered Sun Cleric, and playing whatever the fuck she has in her hand. Alright, this time it only took 4 hours to come up with that. That's great. Thank you. And she plays a Tauren Warrior. Well, that's not the most impressive thing here. I can just kill it easily. She can even hit me in the face if she wants. I mean, she knows I have to kill everything she plays. It'd be a bit cheeky, but she could do it. I mean, the danger is I kill this with a spell, and then I have, you know, the Shattered Sun Cleric still alive. Oh my god. What are you thinking about? Just play your goddamn moves. Jesus Christ. So I could wait for Gadgetzan Auctioneer, but I'm not going to. That's way too risky. I just want the card right now, because a card right now could really help, like a Boulderfist Ogre or something. Hey, speak of the devil, it's a Boulderfist Ogre! Okay, so now we shapeshift. We kill that like that. We kill that like that. Hit her in the face like that. Fireball no longer wins her the game. Pyroblast does. If she was lucky to get it, it is an epic, and this Ogre now is a serious advantage to me in this top deck war that we are having. She got Arcane Intellect, and she actually thought about it for like 10 seconds too. Jesus. So at least Pyroblast does not win her the game. She has to look very carefully at both of her cards. She finally gets a Polymorph. I'm lucky she didn't get that earlier. That would have been really good for her earlier. So, you know, I could complain that she got lucky and got it now, but we are getting down to the last, like, whatever, chunks of the deck. I'm just glad it didn't happen previously. Savage Roar. Not the most helpful card here, unfortunately. I could have dealt 4 extra damage with it, but that's not that useful. Let's just hang on to it. I might need it. Later. 4 plus 7 is, or sorry, 4 plus 3 is 7, 7 plus 6. I can deal 13 damage, leave her at 10 health, not enough. 14 damage with Shapeshift. She's thinking, and she plays a Sea Giant after thinking about it for 3 billion years. Oh, this is bad. So Savage Roar plus Ogre Magus only deals 6. So I can't let the Sea Giant hit me. I'm going to have to throw both my cards at it, unfortunately. Innervate. So in order to avoid hitting the Sea Giant, I have to do something absolutely disgusting, which is Savage Roar and then throw both of these minions at it, which is just the worst thing. So that Sea Giant caught her back up. I'm actually more annoyed about that than about the Polymorph. But if she hadn't had Polymorph and she just played the Sea Giant, then the Ogre plus Savage Roar would have killed the Sea Giant, and I could have used my other creatures. Now we're getting out of the Dregs here. Even if she hits Fatigue before me, she's probably going to win, just because she has more health. And this is a problem. I actually need to kill this, like, right now. I have a Starfire in here, and I have a Gadgetzan Auctioneer. Either one of those would be really good to see. Keeper of the Grove. Are you goddamned kidding me, Jesus? This game is fucking idiotic. So I can't kill that thing. She's going to hit me for 5. I'm still alive. Probably. But there were so many things that could have gone well, and none of them did. She beat out Cenarius. She beat out Iron Rock Protector, Bodifist Ogre. Have I played my own Sea Giant? I can't remember. This game's been dragging on for so goddamn long! I can't remember what I've played and what I haven't played. Oh, seriously, these mages, with their thinking, it's just going to murder me. The worst part is that I'm actually losing to them. That's really the worst part. So now I'm actually dead if I don't get an answer to this 5-2. Because even after shapeshifting, this will kill me. Elven Archer, ladies and gentlemen. Elven Archer. Alright, so down to 2 health. And what do we get? We got a Bloodsail Raider. Are you motherfucking kidding me? Are you motherfucking kidding me? Bloodsail Raider. Losing to a Priestess of Elune. Losing to mages who spend half an hour to play the one card they have. No, that was not well played. You are slow and annoying. And we're at 3-2. I think this deck is really good. Even though it's got that weird curve thing with the lack of 3-drops and an overabundance of 4s, it's really good. I lost to 2 mages. Mages is usually going to be the... Well, is it usually? I think it's a pretty bad matchup for Druid. I don't know. It's tough to say. I could just be biased by the fact that I just lost to 2 of them who seem to kind of suck. But... yeah, it just sort of sucked. They took forever to make their turns. They had endless amounts of removal and answers. And I guess as a Druid, yeah, when you're playing, maybe not all Druids, but when you're playing like a big stuff Druid deck, you really don't want your opponent to have good answers. That Polymorph just wrecked me completely. Alright, so we have again the Innervate that I kept in the opening hand. It really didn't work out well the last time I did it. So we'll see if that was a fluke or if I'm actually just wrong in my appraisals of things. Play the Bloodsail Raider first, so why this? Well, the odds of him actually getting something to play that can enrage it are pretty small. The odds of him having removal for this or a creature that will trade with it are pretty high, so I'd rather throw away my bland creature and then play my real one, the one with an ability afterwards, than throw out the ability creature right off the bat. So the Loot Hoarder, well, turns out how much I know. Okay, so I could innervate the Ogre Magi here. Or I could play the Berserker Innervate Shapeshift. Is it worth it to Innervate Shapeshift? Not really. Let's just do that and pass the turn. I could still top deck a Druid of the Claw, which would be a great turn 3 play with the help of Innervate. If I don't get that, you can see it's kind of awkward. 5 mana or 3 mana, both are pretty awkward amounts I don't want to spend. There's a totem. He gets small damage. Does he actually have a Forked Lightning? No, he's a Rockbiter weapon to kill off the Berserker with. It's unfortunate, because it means he doesn't have Overload. I would have liked him to have some Overload. Am I going to do nothing better than just Shapeshift here? Yeah, alright. I can't innervate this Ogre, so yeah, actually not Shapeshift, let's make a Panther. Kill the spell damage totem, pass the turn. He shouldn't have a Forked Lightning, because he could have used one last turn to kill both my minions with that spell damage totem, and then I can innervate into an Ogre. Problem is, if he has a Hex, then, you know, he can Hex my Ogre, which sucks. Power of... I mean, is there anything else that's more worth doing? I could Power of the Wild, throw this in a shame. No. Let's do this thing. Pass the turn. If he has a Hex, he has a Hex, but Hex is just one common card. What are the odds he has it? His opponent's name is Ham, with 2 M's, like a last name. Imp Master means he does not have the Hex, or he would have played it. Alright, there's spell damage. And he kills my Panther. And he makes an Imp. So here's where I would really like a swipe. I have just 1 swipe in the deck. Didn't get it. This, however, is good enough, so let's claw, kill, kill, kill. Don't be fooled. You cannot shapeshift to kill this imp because you've already attacked with claw, so we'll just play the biggest creature I have, which is a 4/4 for 4. Let the imp kill my thing, and what's the story? Well, he's got 6 cards to my 4, but he just showed that he didn't have a hex, so this ogre could go the distance. Unless he plays a fire elemental here. Fire elemental shoots the ogre, for example, and then tries to trade with it. Or actually, fire elemental would probably be best to use to shoot the ogre magi and use the imp to kill it. Okay, looks like he doesn't have a fire elemental. He's an ogre himself. Alright, here's where I might use a panther. Okay, Keeper of the Grove. Looks good. I hate to waste it like this, but waste it I shall. We're going to deal 2 damage to the face because we're making a panther, so I want an extra minion out here to be buffed. We'll kill his ogre and swing for 5. So now this will get killed by a variety of things. He's got 6 cards to my 4 and move behind, but again, Cenarius is coming up in a few turns. If I can just keep the things the way they are, if my top decks are just good enough that I can hang on, or my 5/5 and my 3/5 can hang on to the situation, I'll be in good shape. Okay, so the fire elemental's a 2 for 1. It kills off my ogre, and also my ogre magi now needs to trade for it. Sea Giant, though, timely top deck. That's just the kind of thing I needed. We trade now, kill the fire elemental, swing for 3. So it's like the reverse of the mage, where I was always ahead of the mage, but she kept getting enough damage through and hanging on just long enough. Kind of doing the same thing here. He's ahead of me on cards, but I'm hanging on just enough, and I'm trickling damage through. And I've got, things that he has to answer, like the Sea Giant. Really wish I could play Cenarius next turn. That would be stupendous. Fortunately, it's not going to happen. Ironbark. That's good. Okay, let's play the Ironbark. I'm going to ignore this Healing Totem, and we're going to swing at his face for 11. Now this Sea Giant threatens lethal, and that's if he deals with this Ironbark somehow. So this is looking really good. I also have a way to sweep past the totem. If he does get a taunting totem, I've got a 3/5 to kill it. So yeah, this Shaman showcases the weaknesses of Shaman in the arena. They have very little redundancy in their toolkit, so if you don't get a Hex, you just have no way of getting past, or getting rid of big threats. Okay, he is going to die if that's all he does. He is going to die if that's all he does. He sees that. I could have shapeshifted off the Divine Shield, then use the Ironbark to kill the Divine Shield, use the Keeper to kill the Taunt Totem, the Sea Giant comes through for the last 8 damage, and we get the win. See, that was a pretty solid win. Granted, some top decks came in a little bit of a lucky time. The Sea Giant especially, but whatever, man. That's why I put the cards in the deck, is so I could draw them and play them. Don't hate. Don't hate. Well, I mean, hate if you want, I guess. You're just not going to get any value out of hating it. Or me, or the game, or whatever. Anyway, we're at 4-2, which is a bit sad. It's not as good as I expected for this deck. But the wins have been pretty strong. As long as we don't get any more mages, I feel like my odds are very, very good. And we get a priest. Alright, so the priest is its own kind of difficulty. Shadow Word Death, of course, kills all my big stuff. However, I'm okay with that somewhat because Shadow Word Death is just 1 card, whereas mages have multiple cards that will kill my big stuff. They have Fireball and Polymorph. Fireball doesn't quite kill the 8 power stuff, but it's, close enough. Okay. Cenarius, very gregarious fellow, coming up every single time. Northshire Cleric, I do have the best possible answer, which is, well, not the best possible, but a pretty good answer to Northshire Cleric, which is a 3/2. Even better, a 3/2 that cannot be targeted with Shadow Word, Pain, or Holy Smite. So barring a coin Shattered Sun Cleric, or a Direwolf Alpha, or a Power Word Shield, she's not going to let that Northshire Cleric out. Does she actually have a Shattered Sun Cleric? Please tell me this is not a Shattered Sun Cleric. It's a Razor of an Hunter. Fine. Don't mind that too much at all, because I can simply kill the Northshire Cleric now, and then also kill that thing. Okay, so we'll kill the Northshire Cleric, and then think. I could shapeshift to kill the boar. Or I could play the Cleric. I think this actually is worth it, because now what happens is the Hunter can kill the Fairy Dragon, but the Cleric or my shapeshift can kill the boar, and I think it's a worthy risk to take. To basically put this out here for a hope of tempo advantage. Okay, the trade gets made. Does he have a buff for the pig? He does not. And he has nothing, actually. Alright. So the question is, do you innervate for the ogre? I mean, I kept this in my opening hand. It's pretty much what you do with Innervate. The issue is that if he has Shadow Word Death, as he has a higher than average chance to have, given that he played nothing on turn 3, I get 2 for 1 and I lose the tempo potential of this Panther. If I didn't have that Panther and I had nothing else to do, sure, I would have innervated that Ogre. But since I had a reasonable alternative move to make, I decided to hang on to this Innervate. Maybe for Cenarius. With Cenarius, yes, he can get Shadow Word Death, but at least you also get your trees. So it's not a total loss. Even with Innervate, it's 3 turns until Cenarius, but still. Okay, so Elven Archer, what does she have, or does he have to finish this off? He has nothing, actually. Okay. Well, I unfortunately have nothing myself, so my opponent basically gave me a chance to get really far ahead, and I didn't take it, because I didn't have anything to do. Would have loved to have a Druid of the Claw there. No such luck. Now, I could Innervate into an Ironbark, or I could just play an Ogre. Probably just want to play the Ogre, again, in case of Shadow Word Death. Alright, this is a pretty good card for him. It deals with both of my creatures. What I'm going to do is think. I could Ogre, Shapeshift, or Innervate Shapeshift to kill this thing off. Problem is, then on turn 7, I don't have anything to do. I could play Power of the Wild, or I could Ogre, Innervate Power of the Wild. Ah, that's what I want to do. Yes, we're going to play the Ogre, Innervate, Power of the Wild. So I don't have anything to do next turn, but this is worth it. Do I want to hit him for 8? No, we want to kill this thing off, hit him. Now, I assume he's going to Shadow Word Death this Ogre, but I already have all my biggest stuff out here, so as long as I don't top deck like my Sea Giant, pretty much anything I top deck I can play, and then I still am hitting him for 4 damage. He actually does not have a Shadow Word Death, amazingly enough. He has a Frost Elemental. Alright, is that worth killing? I'm going to hit him in the face. He's getting pretty close to death. Swipe, he's down to 8. He has to take care of this Ogre. Even if he has Shadow Word Death and kills this with the Frost Elemental, still I've got 2 extra damage coming through from this Berserker. So the other 4 mana that he has would have to deal with it. Okay, I think that was this top decked card, so that was pretty lucky for him. But anyway, that's 1 Shadow Word Death gone. So I can play the Ironbark next turn, perhaps. And just swing at him for 2 damage and call it a day. Or I could swipe his face to finish off the Elemental. Alright, he's going to kill my Berserker, which is clever. So he can heal this back up to totally full, leaving me with a harder hitting creature. I don't know, that was a little bit of a weird choice. I think he probably would have been better off if he had killed my harder hitting creature. Alright, so I'm threatening lethal with this Panther and swipe. I got Cenarius. In either mode, it'll be pretty good next turn, depending on the situation. I have Starfire in here as well somewhere, which gives me some nice reach potential. Can he get another Shadow Word Death, is the question, because we're too early for Mind Control. The answer is the Garthworm. It's kind of a dumb name. Lightspawn, he does not have another Shadow Word Death. He does not have a way of killing Ironbark. He's going to silence, what, the Ironbark, so he can kill the Panther? Pretty smart. I think he made the best of a bad situation, but unfortunately for him, Swipe is a pretty good card. Well played. And that's our 5th win. Pretty on top of that game, I think, for the most part. Played around Shadow Word Death. He didn't have one even playing around it. I was able to win pretty easily. Good game. And we're now trying to claw into 7. Get it? Because claw is a Druid spell? Yeah. I'd be very content with the 7-win run here. After that little bump at 3 wins, losing to 2 mages in a row, in a most irritating fashion, I will be pretty content if I can get up to 7, get my money back for the arena, and then prep up for the next one, and call it a day. Don't be a mage. That's like an acronym. DBAM! Don't be a mage. Fraggy, our warrior friend, is our first opponent. I could keep the swipe because it's a good card, but I'm not going to. There's a chance that it's not going to be that useful on turn 4, so I might as well mulligan for things I can actually do. Alright, so Wild Growth could be interesting. I, again, have this too much of a good thing problem where I have all these 2-drops. And I may not have time for Wild Growth if he puts up a fast start. The moment, fast is definitely the opposite of the kind of start that this guy's putting up. Poring over his mulligan choices, inspecting this card very closely in particular, putting it back, changing it, keeping the other 3. So he only mulliganed his left card, kept the other 3. Seems to like his hand. Savage Roar, man, has not been good at all this run. And it's pretty much dead early on. Oh god, I just have this another slow ass. Fraggy plays what? Loot Hoarder. Well, Loot Hoarder got a lot of different options here. The Berserker could survive against it. I could even play my own Loot Hoarder. I will go for the Berserker here. It's a little bit risky, but as long as he doesn't have a buff for that Loot Hoarder or a really efficient source of 1 extra damage, I'll kill the Loot Hoarder, become enraged, and then that'll be a big pain for him to deal with. He will slam this to draw a card and play and attack it with the Loot Hoarder. So he does go up a card here because he killed this with 2 things that drew him cards. It's quite unfortunate. Alright, well, let's play my own Loot Hoarder then. Let's see if I can get the advantage back. I didn't want to play Wild Growth because there was no point. All I want to play next turn is this Dark Iron Dwarf on this Loot Hoarder to buff it up and kill whatever big thing he plays to get my card back. So there's no point in this Wild Growth at the moment. Harvest Golem. So I can kill it, but then of course, you know, it lives. Well, that's fine. We still get the card. I could even innervate for a shapeshift here. Nope. Hang on to that innervate. I have a lot of spells. So Gadget and Auctioneer could be fantastic. I could like Gadget and Auctioneer, innervate, Power of the Wild, win game. As long as he doesn't have a good answer for the Dark Iron Dwarf. But he does have a good answer because of course he does. Are you kidding me, Jesus? So he gets to kill the Dark Iron Dwarf with the rest of that Harvest Golem. Still has a 3/3 in the axe. This Panther does no good. It just dies to the axe. Chillwind Yeti. Chillwind Yeti. Sure. No point innovating into this ghoul. It will just die to the Smith. Now he can use the weapon plus a Smith to kill the Yeti. And then he's got 5 mana to work with. But boy, do I want an Auctioneer, or any of my big cards, like an Ironbark, or Ogre, or even Cenarius would be great. Or Sea Giant. Although the Sea Giant is likely to cost 10 mana. Or like 9 mana. Alright, it'll cost 9 mana if I got it, so I wouldn't be able to play it. He is going to go for the kill. No! I catch a break. So my opponent should have absolutely used the Weaponsmith plus his axe to kill this Yeti. The fact that he didn't is just absolutely mind-boggling. We're going to get a Ghoul out in play. Shatters on Cleric. Kill that Yeti. No point in innervation. I mean, I could actually innervate for a Power of the Wild. Just to buff everything up, making it harder to kill. Is that worth doing? Now, I'm going to save that for the Auctioneer that I might hopefully draw at some point. Here you can use the Axe to kill the Cleric, and then the Weaponsmith to kill the Ghoul. I guess innervating into Power of the Wild would have made the Ghoul harder to kill, but I don't think it's worth doing, because if he had a good answer to it, and in 7 cards he's likely to, I'd have been in trouble. Alright, does he have a 3-power minion? Why am I even asking? Of course he does. No, he has a 4-power minion. That's fucking ridiculous. Well, good thing I didn't use Power of the Wild, because with this thing and it having charge, that would have been a total waste. So you can actually clear my whole board out now. Execute. Well, he gets to clear my board and keep a creature. So he kills that. Kills that. And I'm going to have to use Savage Roar to actually kill this Warsong Commander next turn. Oh my god, he's just hitting my face. That's a mistake. Oh, he was using the axe to kill that. Right. Yes, of course. I forgot about the axe. Okay, so that was fine. I have to... There we go. This is fine. So we're going to use the Auctioneer. Innervate. Get a card. And think. So if I leave this alive, that sucks. If I play the Savage Roar, I don't have enough mana to actually play... to shapeshift also. So we're going to do this for the Panther. Get another card. Man. Innervate gives me 4 mana. Again, not enough to Savage Roar. Oh, jeez. That sucks. Well, let's do Wild Growth. For a crystal and a card, there's really no reason not to. And I'm going to innervate to get a card because might as well. There's no reason not to do it. So 2 damage off a shapeshift makes no difference to anything, so we'll just play the Argent Squire, put that down, and pass the turn. So I didn't really achieve a whole lot there, but I did draw a bunch of cards and I got a 4/4 down, which will die to this thing. Question is, does he have anything else that can get charged? And the answer is yes, and in fact it's the worst possible thing, because it can now activate Wind Fury against the Sergeant Squire. Okay, he's actually going to do the combo here. He pulled off the Warsong Commander Raging Worgen combo. This is freaking idiotic. So I'm getting very low on health now, unfortunately. I'm down to 5 health. Jesus, I'm actually almost dead. A Fiery War Axe would kill me here. Oh, this is stupid. This is so bloody stupid. A Novice Engineer, which actually charges, so I'm down to 2 health. Alright, luckily I got a Druid of the Claw here and enough minions to clear out his board, but man, that's pretty annoying. Pretty annoying. Cenarius. Oh, I love to play Cenarius and give everything a buff, but I just can't afford to do this. It's 4, 7, 8. Actually, can I win? Hold on. 4, 7, 8, 12, 12 plus 10. Oh my god, it's 22 damage. Okay, let me just make sure I got this right. 4, 7, 8, 12. 12 plus 10 is 22. I can deal 22 damage. And I'm 1 mana shy of being able to shapeshift to kill him off. So, because I cannot kill him, I have to do other stuff. Alright, we're definitely going to play Savage Roar. Okay, and then I'm going to play a Druid of the Claw and think, do I want the taunt or the charge? I think I just want I want the taunt. Even though it doesn't kill a minion, it prevents him from top decking things like weapons and whatnot and just getting a free kill against me. Alright, so now we need to kill stuff off. Obviously I can't use my own body. Actually I could kill this Novice Engineer. What's the difference between 1 health and 2 health? Pretty much nothing. So let's see. Let's kill off this thing. And this thing. And this thing, obviously. And yes, I will take a point of damage killing off this thing. And we're going to pass the turn. So if he has any direct damage, Elven Archer, Stormpike Commando, whatever, Mortal Strike he can win right now. If he doesn't, I could crawl back into this with Ironbark and Shapeshift and try to life gain my way out of the situation. See if he's got it. Silence, of course, would also let him win. He could silence off the taunt and swing for 2. Storm of Night doesn't let him win just yet because I've got the Taunter here. Just going to throw it at it. Does he have an Execute? That would let him win the game. He has Battle Rage to draw 2 cards, so he's not winning yet, but if he gets an Execute out of this, or a Silence, he can win. He has another Battle Rage, so he's drawing 2 more cards, so he just went up a couple of cards ahead, but that's not going to let him win. I can now clear out his board and be okay. God, I cannot believe I could have gotten him down to 1 health. And I was a mana shy of being able to kill him off. Alright, so he just runs it into the Druid. Okay. So what do we do here? Well, we think. Cenarius could give me 8 damage. So I have 8, 16, 20. Alright, kids. Always look for the win. I think if if obviously it would have been very risky of me to keep on playing here without killing him. So the fact that I got the kill there stopped him from drawing an extra card to try to kill me with was a pretty significant thing. So that was a pretty close game against Fraggy. I could have gotten him down to 1, then he did get me down to 1, and then I won. Lots of 1s there. So we're at 6 and 2, trying to get up to 7. I've been doing pretty well with Druid lately. I think because people keep voting for him on my streams. It has now become my most played class. Well, it was tied for my most played class. After this run, it will be my most played class. My last few runs with Druid have been pretty solid, although I haven't posted a dedicated Druid video in a while. My last runs with Druid, well, okay, they've been kind of weird. It's been 10, 6, 5, 11, 3, 12, 12. So both of my last 2 Druid runs were 12s, which is kind of crazy. And actually, both of my last 2 Hunter runs were 12s also. So that's 2 classes with whom I had 2 12s in a row. Anyway, we're not worried so much about the 12s at the moment. We're just trying to beat this Paladin. Got a pair of 2-drops, so the Crazed Alchemist doesn't look that impressive. It's not too bad. He can actually, like, flip the Power of the Wild to be a 2-3, and then I can kill an extra recruit out of it. I will actually, however, coin into a Loot Hoarder, assuming, of course, he passes on turn 1. Because if he makes a Recruit, what I could do is I could Crazed Alchemist my Loot Hoarder, kill the Recruit off, and then keep the Loot Hoarder around. And then the Loot Hoarder would also stop him from playing most real minions that he could play. A good scenario also would be if he plays a 2-3, let's say he plays an Amani Berserker, I could Crazed Alchemist, make it a 3-2, trade it, get a card up. So I'd actually rather see a real minion than a Recruit. He plays a Secret. Okay. Well, if that's a Noble Sacrifice, as it almost certainly is, then I don't mind just throwing my Loot Hoarder at it and getting a card. Or I could Shapeshift to get rid of the Noble Sacrifice, keep the Loot Hoarder out here. So if I do that, the Loot Hoarder stays. If I throw the Loot Hoarder away, I get a card, and I get a Panther. Well, I'm going to throw the Loot Hoarder because I want to draw an extra card, because I want to increase my odds of getting one of my 2 Innervates. Okay, so it's actually not a Noble Sacrifice or an Eye for an Eye. It could be a Redemption or a, what's-his-face, Repentance. Well, let's get a Panther. This is a spell, by the way, so it does not check for Repentance. And in any way, case, I'd suspect a Redemption would be more likely. Okay, with this Scarlet Crusader, it is almost 100% guaranteed that that secret is a Redemption. So I don't particularly want to kill the Scarlet Crusader. That would cost me some resources, and it wouldn't accomplish a whole lot. So, is it worth it to play the Crazed Alchemist just for the hell of it? Sure. I'll do it, because what that does is it actually protects my Panther from dying. You can still kill my Loot Hoarder, but the Panther will live, and I'm starting to get some damage through, which is nice. This pack of 4-drops here with me having 3 mana kind of sucked, but next turn we can play Ascension, and be off in good territory. Dark Iron Dwarf, it's like the best card he could have had. Well, okay. So I don't really want to kill the Scarlet Crusader. I do want to kill the Dark Iron Dwarf. The way we'll do it is as follows. I'm going to throw this away. Get a card. Sea Giant, can't be played. We'll shoot the Dwarf. Comes back with 1 health, yeah. And then I'll throw the Crazed Alchemist at it, so it's a 2-4 versus his 1-3. He's got 5 cards. I have 5 cards as well. About to draw Druid of the Claw. Or drop a Druid of the Claw, which is pretty good. Young Priestess I don't really want to see. I hate it when they have a 1-mana play after making a pretty good 4-mana play, but what are you going to do? Yeah, we'll play Druid of the Claw here, and that'll hold up relatively well against this stuff. I could give it charge to kill up the Scarlet Crusader, but I don't think that's actually worth it. Let's do this. Now he has to throw the True Silver Champion and a Young Priestess to kill it off, leaving him with a 1-4, which isn't that impressive. There are better answers he could have, of course. We'll see if he comes up with one of those. Nope, he's just dropping a bunch of crap. So I need to swipe pretty soon here, or it's going to be trouble. Yeah, swipe here would be pretty great. I could kill off the Ooze, a couple of 1/1s, and be in pretty good shape. No, got a Dark Iron Dwarf instead. So 6 mana. I'm going to play Sen'jin, Shapeshift, kill off a Recruit. Now, why didn't I play the Sea Giant? Well, playing 1 creature against a board of little stuff is not great. What you want to do is try to clamp down and kill off his stuff as fast as you can. Yeah, I've got plenty of health, so I've got plenty of time. If the Sen'jin can trade for a couple of these creatures, that'll be a huge victory. He needs a buff here pretty badly. Does he have it? He has Buzzing Kings? Well, yes, the answer is yes, he has it. So now he's got a 5-8. A 5-5 is left over. He's got a 3-2. Oh my gosh, I'm in a lot of trouble now. This is bad. This is very, very bad, because I'm going to lose my health in a hurry here. Okay, I guess I'm going to do what he does. We'll play this and this, Shapeshift, and kill that off. So I'm going to try to trade it away for at least these guys, or force the 5-5 to attack something else. Crap, he just got off to this like furiously good continuation with this like pair of 3-2s on the 5th turn. Blessing of Kings to seal the deal, and now I desperately find myself needing a swipe. Blessed Champion. Wow. You have got to be fucking kidding me. So he's just going to pound me for 10 damage, and I have no answers to it unless I get a swipe or a Starfire, and I got neither. So I'm just about to die, actually, is what's happening here. I think a pair of 4s is better than a single giant thing. He's got 11 damage here at 12 health. If he gets another point of damage, he wins. This game was dumb. That Redemption was really good because it screwed me up playing against a Scarlet Crusader. And I ended up losing a fair amount of resources to it anyway. Alright, so he gets a card. He plays a taunt. Hits me in the face with Blessed Champion. Geomancer, and okay, so he's just threatening lethal here from a barrage of angles. I needed a swipe here really badly. I didn't get one. Ugh. Stupidity. Okay, let's see if I can get a swipe. It still could save me. Innervate. Who needs Innervate? Oh my god. Well, he wins. Nothing I can do. So 6 wins is what we'll have to settle with. I lost 2 games of stupidity against mages, and I lost a game of stupidity against the paladin. Got to admit, Redemption's been pretty good against me a couple of times, but both times it's been good against me is when the person has had like a Divine Shield creature, so it still takes some work to get it to be pulled off. Well, thanks for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and or subscribe. Let's now take a look at our prize. Hopefully it's one of the big ones. It'll make me feel better about myself if I can get like 140 gold here. It has happened. Not this time. We got 45 dust and 80 gold. Ugh. We did get up to 10 packs, so every 10 packs I will do a little pack opening. I'm not going to wait for an eternity to see if, Blizzard makes an expansion and I can have all these, like, packs out. I think I actually do need a Pit Lord. I have one. I have one of everything, but I don't think I have a second one. That was a normal Junkaroo pack, although not that I care that much about pack quality anymore. Angry Chicken, always a delight to see. There are actually, ooh, an epic. Bane of Doom, I think I have 2 of. Are there any rares I still need to know? I think I have all the rares at this point. Oh no, there's some like junk rares I don't have 2 copies of. But yeah, I have all the rares I need. There are some epics I don't have. This is a 2-pack, or 2-rare pack. So we've had 2 epics. One of which I believe is new. And other than that, it's been junky. Felguard. More like fell suck, am I right? Okay. And another double rare pack. That doesn't really matter. Last and possibly least, we have a regular old pack. Okay, so let's go into our collection then, since there will now be a whole bunch of duplicate cards. We have just 1 duplicate epic, so yes, that Pit Lord was new. The game crashes as always at that screen, so let's see what all of our new cards are. We have a Golden Starfall. Well, that is a usable card, so I'll keep it. Golden Freezing Trap. Oh, that could be usable, so I'll keep it. Golden Stubborn Buzzard for leveling up. Great. We have a Golden Water Elemental. Awesome. And there was nothing over there, was there? Okay, glad I flipped all those. Golden Power Word Shield for leveling up as Priest. Golden Mortal Coil for leveling up a Warlock. Yes, there's a Golden Pit Lord. So I have a Golden Pit Lord. That was my only Pit Lord, and then I have a regular Pit Lord that I just found. So great, I have 2 Pit Lords now. Hooray. And a Golden Battle Rage that is a usable card, so I'll hang on to that. Okay, those are all the new cards. Sneak peek at the next arena. This will be after my vacation, so it won't be for a while, but it's going to be a Warlock, a Mage, or a Paladin. Tempted to do a Paladin, because Paladin is still behind. We shall see, folks. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you again soon.